Once upon a time, there lived a lion in the dense Amazon rainforest. While he was sleeping by resting his big head on his paws, a tiny little mouse unexpectedly crossed by and ran across the lion's nose in haste. This woke up the lion and he laid his huge paw angrily on the tiny mouse to kill her. The poor mouse begged the lion to spare her this time and she would pay him back on some other day. Hearing this, the lion was amused and wondered how could such a tiny creature ever help him. But he was in a good mood and in his generosity he finally let the mouse go. A few days later, a hunter set a trap for the lion while the big animal was stalking for prey in the forest. Caught in the toils of a hunter's net, the lion found it difficult to free himself and roared loudly in anger. As the mouse was passing by, she heard the roar and found the lion struggling hard to free himself from the hunter's net. The little creature quickly ran towards the lion's trap that bound him and she gnawed the net with her sharp teeth until the net tore apart. Slowly she made a big hole in the net and soon the lion was able to free himself from the hunter's trap. The lion thanked the little mouse for her help and the mouse reminded him that she had finally repaid the lion for sparing her life before. Thereafter, the lion and the mouse became good friends and lived happily in the forest. Moral of the story: love and kindness are never wasted. You can accomplish by kindness, which you cannot by force.
The Lazy Donkey. A salt merchant lived in a small village. Every day, he walked to the city to buy salt. His donkey accompanied him. The merchant loaded the bags of salt on the donkey, and they walked back to the village along the river. But the donkey did not like to carry so many bags on his back as he was lazy. The donkey always looked for ways to get rid of work. One day, the salt merchant loaded the donkey with 2 bags of salt, and they started walking back to the village. On the way, the donkey accidentally slipped into the river. The salt dissolved in the water and when the donkey was pulled out of the river, he felt lighter. The salt merchant had to go back to the city to buy more salt. The donkey thought of this as a good idea to get rid of the load. The next day, the donkey intentionally slips into the river. When he was pulled out, he felt lighter. The salt merchant understood the donkey trick. He knew that donkey was falling in the river on purpose. So, one day the salt merchant filled the bag with cotton instead of salt. The donkey felt that the bags were much lighter than previous days, but the donkey wished to reduce the weight even more. So the donkey again fell into the river. But when he was pulled out, the load on his back felt much heavier. As the bag contained cotton, when it fell into the water along with the donkey, the cotton absorbed the water and the bag became heavier. The donkey had to pick up the heavier load. It realized his mistake and understood that the same measures will not suit all circumstances. He had learned his lesson. Moral of the story: you can fool a person a few times but not always. Those who are too clever sometimes overreach themselves and get trapped at their own risk. Thanks for watching.
गर्मी के दिनों में घास में आलसी टिड्डा था। वह चहक रहा था और रहा था क्योंकि जीवन उसका जीवन अच्छी तरह से कट रहा था।
Hansel and the Magical Forgotten Fables. Long, long ago, the 2 children of a woodcutter, Hansel and Gretel, were lost in a forest. The children wandered around and found a strange house made of chocolates, candies, bread, and cake in the middle of the forest. The hungry children grabbed a piece of the house and started eating. Suddenly, an old witch appeared and caught the children. She locked Hansel in a cage and made Gretel do all the housework. One day, the witch told Gretel to heat the oven. When the oven was hot, Gretel asked the witch to check the temperature. Just as the witch bent over the oven, Gretel pushed her into the oven. Then she rescued Hansel from the cage and hugged him. Before leaving, they took the witch's treasure and a basket full of food. Finally, the children found their way back to the house and their father.